So, the Vela Latina. Let me see if I can get this on the camera with the engraving on the front there. Hopefully we can get this to autofocus tonight. Maybe. Let's try with the hand behind it. There we go. So, this is the Vela Latina. It's very, very compact. And you can see it's very faint, but on the Pyrex it actually has the Caravella logo, the C with the plus in the center of it, and it says drip on the bottom too. It's tough to see because it's Pyrex and it's clear. But so this is the look here. It's very, very compact. The height is only, even with the drip tip, it's only 42 millimeters. And also keep in mind that you're taking about 5 millimeters off of the height of the Caravella as well, because it screws directly into the top of the Caravella. So really, if you consider the amount of added height that you're adding to the top of a Caravella by putting this on there, it's only adding 37 millimeters. So it's very, very compact. It's 22 millimeter diameter, as you can tell. It sits flush on the device. The tanks are Pyrex and stainless steel. I'll show you this. Here's what the stainless steel one looks like. I actually like the look of the stainless steel one better, but Pedro recommended to me that I use the Pyrex one until I kind of got used to the device, and I'm glad that I did. It's just to be able to see your juice level and everything. So you can see here, this is the little logo I was talking about. This is the stainless steel version of the tank. You can get it in different finishes, just like you can with the Caravella. You can get the body of the device, the tank sleeve, and also with the drip tip in different finishes. So if you want to do polished, brushed, polished, or brushed, polished, brushed, or any combination thereof, you can do that so that it matches up nicely with the Caravella. So what I did, and you can see this, I'll just hold this up. So what I did was I have this set up so that it alternates finish, brushed and polished. So as you can see here, hopefully. So the tube is brushed, and then the connection, the body of the Vela Latina is polished, and then the sleeve is brushed, and the drip tip is brushed. So yeah, only SS, no brass. Well, SS and Pyrex technically. So it's 316 stainless, which is the most corrosion resistant stainless steel. Has a 2.5 milliliter capacity, and the base price on it is 150 euro plus shipping. You can get various different add-ons for the device. You can get the polished finishes for different parts they're going to add. You can get extra sleeves for it. You can get some additional engravings on the box that it comes in. You can get extra drip tips, so you can get, the price can add up very quickly, but the base price is 150 euros. So I'm going to take a vape off of it. Hold on. Yum. And the packaging that it comes in, I just want to show this to you really quick. This is just, it's amazing. So it comes in a little treasure chest, okay? As you can see, it comes in a little wooden treasure chest with a nice little clasp on the front. You open it up, and this is what you see when you open it up for the first time. This beautiful little felt packaging with the signature copper wire that's kind of twisted and spiraled inside the box. Even the drip tips are individually wrapped. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous, the packaging that this comes in. So I emptied all of these out, and I put them back in just to kind of keep the packaging all nice. And I'm going to keep this as well, because this is just gorgeous as well. So it also comes with, I've got a couple little bits in here that don't actually come with it, but it also comes with the pins, just like the Caravella does, and it's got a nice little microfiber cloth for wiping down. That all comes with the Vela Latina as well, and you can get extra parts for that as well. Yeah, it really is a nice touch. The packaging is absolutely beautiful. So, the device, it's very, very simple, like Pedro says. It's not a complex device. This is not something like an amp tank where it's got this kind of complex juice feeding system. It's very, very simple. This is basically a way to manually drip on a 306 atomizer without having to have a juice bottle and continually be dripping into the device. It's very simple design. So you have the drip tip here, which will pop that out. The drip tip has a little piece of mesh in the bottom of it. The mesh helps to keep juice from getting into your mouth from the atomizer. It also helps with the feeding of the juice down into the atomizer. And as you can see, it's got a little extended piece on the bottom of it, so this isn't like a standard 510 drip tip, as you can see. And there's an O-ring on the inside where that mesh that mesh hits, that prevents the mesh from getting pushed up too far. The bottom of the device, this is where you put the little pin. You have a number engraved on there as well, as you can see. And then there's a little screw, and I'll unscrew this just to show you. But basically, you unscrew this, and the bottom you can either unscrew it and it'll take it off of the atomizer, or you can just slide it right off. Make sure I got that unscrewed far enough. So, hold on. I don't want the screw to come popping out on me. So this comes right off, and as you can see here, that's my 306 atomizer 510 connection, where the 306 atomizer is inserted into the device. And that, I'm not going to pull this out just because it's a little bit stiff and I don't want to. No, yeah, hold on. Let's see if I can get it out easily. No, it does not leak when it's upside down. No. You know, I'm just going to leave it in. It's fine. You get the idea. So you take the 306 atomizer, you pop it into the base here. You can assemble this, you know, from what I've seen, the easiest way to assemble it is actually to screw the 306 into the base first, and then you press it up into the device so that you line up the screws a little bit easier. But I didn't have any issues getting the screws to line up, so it wasn't really a huge deal. But that is the recommended assembly method. But it's very, it's very easy to put back together. There's a little O-ring on that screw too, as you can see right there. Basically, the whole purpose of that is just to stay on the end of the screw, and it prevents the device from, or it prevents the screw from popping out all the way when you unscrew it. It's just to keep you from losing the screw, basically. This is not a bad feature to have. So there we go. We'll screw that back in. Nice and simple. And there you have it. So literally, to set this up, all you do is you take a 306 atomizer, pop it in there, or screw it into the base, push it together, tighten that screw, and you're done. Filling is extremely easy as well. To fill the device, very, very simple. Hold on. Do that there. I tightened the connection pin by accident. I was getting a little battery rattle, but see? No battery rattle there. So pop this off, and as you can see in here, hopefully you can see inside here, there is a, let me make sure I got it lined up right so you can see it. There is a little hole on the inside of the device, if we can get it to focus. I might have to autofocus, or I might have to take autofocus off to show this to you. Hold on a sec. Let me take autofocus off. Bear with me a moment. Okay, so there is a hole on the inside of the device. See that right there? You can see that. So that is the fill hole and also the drip hole. Okay? So basically, you stick a syringe in there and fill it up. You just hold it upright, put the syringe in sideways, and fill up that little hole there, and it fills up the device, and it'll fill all the way up to the top. Now, if you notice on the top, and this is actually really cool, on the top you have basically like a compass, okay? The C plus, the north direction on the compass, basically, the way that that works is when you vape, hold on a sec, let me take autofocus off here, or put autofocus on rather. So when you vape on the device, what you do is you point the Caravella, or the C on the Caravella on the top, down, and vape. Fantastic. When you want to drip, when you want to prime it and get more juice into the atomizer, you turn it the opposite direction so that the C plus is facing up. And what you do is you tilt it to a point where the juice is covering the little fill hole there, and take a couple puffs. And that's how you drip. And then you flip it back around and vape. And you should give it a second to let the juice drip down into the atomizer, which I didn't, but that's okay. So it's very, very simple design. This is not, like I said, this is not like the amp tank where you have this kind of complex feeding system. It's not like the reactor tank where you rely on the pressure and the thickness of the juice can cause issues with it overfilling or drying out or flooding or whatever. It's very, very simple. It's basically a way to manually drip without actually having to drip. So if you like 306 atomizers, which are very, very good for dripping, and you like the flavor that you get from dripping, which is exceptional, and the warmth of the vapor that you get from dripping, but you don't like the actual process of dripping, this is incredible. Yet very, very simple and very, very elegant and very, very compact. It's very easy to use. It took there's a little bit of a learning curve to it to kind of get the hang of not over priming it, puff too many times or puff too hard. You can flood the tank a little bit, but it really just took me, and Pedro told me that this is the case. Basically, just took a day or two of kind of getting used to it, and ever since then it's been fantastic. Take another vape, and you usually get like 3 or 4 vapes off of it. Then you flip it around, puff, puff, and then keep vaping. So I think any 306 will fit in here. I don't think the IO6 will, because I think the IO6 is a little bit different design. I don't think that's technically even a 306, but yeah, the 306s, I'm using 1.5 ohm, the low resistance, bridgeless atomizer, Cisco spec atomizer from Avid Vapors. They're about $9 a piece. They last a long time. From what I understand, they can last a month and a half of regular use. The flavor from them is absolutely fantastic. The warmth of the vapor is fantastic. It's the same kind of warm vapor and vapor production and flavor that you get from a low ohm Genesis type vape. The flavors come through a little bit differently because it's silica. Good example, Like, I'm vaping Grant's Vanilla Custard in this right now. I like Grant's Vanilla Custard on a Genesis style atomizer, but it tastes very different on silica, and it tastes very different on a dripping atomizer. It tastes it almost tastes like it's a little bit off on a Genesis style, like it needs to steep some more. But on silica, it does not taste like that. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm gonna take another vape actually. Oh, fantastic. I mean, and the vapor production is fantastic from this as well. There's no restriction to the airflow whatsoever. The way that it's designed, you see you have the 4 little air channels along the sides there. So it's completely cleared airflow. The air holes on the sides of the atomizer inside there are not blocked at all by any part of the device. It's completely open, so it is a fairly airy draw for a dripping atomizer. But I mean, you see the vapor production I'm getting off of it. It's absolutely phenomenal. Um, so, hold on one moment. So I guess, I mean, if you if you hate dripping, you still might like this device. It depends on the reasons why you don't like dripping. If you don't like dripping because of the active dripping, which is the reason why I got out of dripping to begin with, because I don't like the process of having to keep dripping juice on an atomizer, and every time I'd get dry hits and so on and so forth, forgetting how many times I puffed on it and everything. Um, if that's the reason you don't like dripping, this is amazing, because this completely negates all of those issues. It's just, vape, 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 turn around, puff, puff, vape, 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 turn around, puff, puff. I mean, and you can chain vape this, and I have. In fact, I'm getting a little bit of a Nick buzz right now from chain vaping this. So, um, yeah, and as you can see, the vapor production's fantastic. The flavor comes through amazingly well. The build quality is just exceptional. The quality control, as we know, with everything from Caravella, is just phenomenal. If you're a strict Genesis user and don't like, you don't like the experience of the vape that you get from dripping, maybe it's not for you. But if you do like that nice full-bodied warm flavor that you get from dripping a low-resistance atomizer, it's fantastic. Paired with the fact that you don't actually need to drip, it's absolutely phenomenal. This device, so I had stopped dripping, and I talked to Pedro about this before when we were talking about him coming on the show. I said, I am not a dripper. I haven't dripped since really, I mean, it's been at least 6 months really since I've done any kind of dripping at all. Even when I test juices now, I just do it on I'll use like a small device, something like a mini B or a mini micro or a Hellfire mini or something like that, and just go through and vape a tank through that, because it's a small tank and you can go through it pretty quickly rather than dripping. But this has kind of changed my tune. It's pretty phenomenal. It made me remember how good a vape you can get from a 306 atomizer or from a Cisco spec atomizer, and reminded me why I stopped dripping in the first place. It wasn't because of the quality of the vape, it was because of the hassle that goes along with it, and this eliminates all of that. And that, in combination with the absolutely beautiful look of the device, and just it's such a, I mean, like somebody mentioned in chat earlier, it's like the jewelry of vaping. It's just it looks absolutely gorgeous. So, yeah. So I mean, in summary, if you're a strict Geni user, even someone that's a strict Genesis user, I would even give this a shot. I absolutely love the vape that I'm getting off of it. Really enjoying it, and it looks phenomenal. If you're a Caravella owner, I say that you got to get your hands on one of these. Put yourself on the list. The list is over on the Caravella forums. If you're not on the list to get one, I highly recommend you do so. Stock up on a couple of Cisco 306 Addies, and once you get it, you're not going to be disappointed. It's a phenomenal, phenomenal product, a phenomenal vape, and impeccable quality, and looks absolutely stunning. In a really nice compact package. So this is, just so you know, this is the 18500 Caravella that I have this on, and I can basically hide the, now I know I have big hands, but I can hide the entire device other than the drip tip in my hand in 18500 mode. So you know, compare that next to the, we'll hold it up next to the Kef. Now this is an 18650 mode, granted, but look at the difference in the height there. Okay, it's very, very compact. So, yeah, no, I'm not gonna, we're gonna be keeping this one, Naughty. My Caravellas don't go anywhere. So, someday I'll show off my collection on the show. But, yeah, so that is the Vela Latina. Phenomenal device. Absolutely give it a huge thumbs up. If you're someone that likes stripping, you have to have this device. It's so simple and elegant and easy to use and fuss free once you get through the 1 or 2 day learning curve, and then it's just easy peasy. So yeah, there you go. That is the Vela Latina.